Hello, everyone, and welcome to Thirsties Live. We are talking about cloth diapering kiddos with special needs, which is why I'm showing off our size 3 duo wrap that fits, look at that, 40 to 60 plus pounds. So I'm really excited for this live because we are going to actually have a guest joining us. Miss Jen from SprayPal is going to be joining us and talking a little bit about her cloth diapering journey, plus also giving us some tips about specifically cloth diapering kiddos with special needs. So this is, I think, a really important topic. If you are watching this, hey Ashley, how are you? If you are watching this, please go ahead and share this live. I think that it's really noteworthy that we make sure that we support families that have kiddos with special needs, and that is actually one of the reasons why, hey Stacy, how are you? That's why Thirsties came out with our size 3 duo wrap, and I see Jen here. So let me have her join. All right, we are adding Jen. Whoa, as it like falls on me, my camera. Okay, so while it's, hopefully the technology is going to work for us here. So there's Jen. Hi, how are
Hi.
you?
Fine.
From SprayPal headquarters, I'm assuming, yeah?
Yes. The upstairs
Awesome.
of my house, which is the SprayPal headquarters. We are
That's
here.
awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Oh, good. I'm glad that Donna's here. Hi, Donna. This is actually a topic that Donna's a pretty loyal Thirsties groupies, and she's been asking for this topic for a while. Actually, quite frankly,
Donna.
a lot of people have. So, Jen, why don't you just go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your cloth diapering journey and maybe SprayPal, just in case someone who's watching isn't familiar.
Okay, so I started cloth diapering on my oldest when she was 2 months old. So we weren't like gung-ho right off the bat thinking this is what we were going to do. We stumbled upon cloth diapers when she was a little bit past the newborn stage, because she was like the blowout queen and just blew out of every disposable all over me, all over her. So I thought there's got to be a better way, and I did some research and discovered, how cloth has the elastic around the back, and people would say, oh, it's so much easier at containing those blowouts. And so we gave it a try. And I was sold immediately. Yes, all those gussets,
Awesome.
and it is perfect. So, and it has proven itself worthy, because we never dealt with blowouts like we did before we switched to cloth. So that's what got me to stick with it, truly. And
That's awesome.
so when she was 1.5 years, my son was born, and he was born prematurely, and he was born at 25 weeks. So he was 1 pound, 13 ounces, and had a lot of complications in the NICU, and spent a total of 7 months in the NICU before we could bring him home. And he came home on oxygen. He came home with a G-tube, and he has cochlear implants now. He came home, and before they released him, they did the newborn hearing screening, and he failed. So came to realize soon after that he was profoundly deaf in both ears, and had cochlear implants, and he had cataract in his eye based on as a result of ROP, which is very common vision impairment in preemies.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot of different things, little challenges he's dealing with. Obviously, they're big challenges, some of them, but we cloth diapered him the entire 7 months he was in the NICU. And have cloth diapered him since, and he's 6 years old now. So it's been a journey.
Yeah. Do you ever have like then now pictures and just like,
I should do more of that. Thank goodness for Facebook memories, because they pop up. I just actually shared one this morning. I should share it to the SprayPal page, where I was baby wearing him, and we used to have, because he was still on oxygen until he was 3 years old. So when I put him in the baby carrier, I have to put a tank in a little camelback backpack
Oh,
on my back.
yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
he'd have the oxygen tank on my back, and I'd wear him on the front, and he'd have his little oxygen tube going to my back. So we were kind of a
Oh,
sight as we were like on our little family walks and
man.
stuff. But yeah,
Wow.
I should post little side by side comparisons because he's really come a long way. He's not on
Yeah.
oxygen anymore, which is huge. Our
Yeah,
next
that
big
is.
goal is to get him off the G tube. So
Mhm.
that's,
Mhm.
we were actually just talking about that today. But,
Yep.
and to get him fully potty trained, which is a big challenge.
So Mickey is asking how old is he now? He's 6 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's 6, and
Yeah.
this was his first week back in kindergarten. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, yeah,
Gosh, and so first off, let's just say like you are an inspiration. Like you cloth diapered all through that.
yep.
And
That was
I'm
crazy.
sure you learned some tricks then along the way. It
Yeah.
sounds like I might be, oh no. If you hear noises behind the door, that's my 3-year-old. So,
Okay.
mom.
I can understand. Yeah.
Oh,
You
there
might
she
hear
is.
Ryan here too. Oh, there you go. You got a visitor.
Okay, let's start getting into some of your tips for now. I'm assuming we're talking about special needs, probably more on the older side of things.
Right.
Um, Maybe cloth diapering a preemie might be something we talk about in the future,
Down the
but
road.
yeah. So I have a bunch of thirsty stuff here. So Jen is gonna, I think, go ahead and share some tips, and I'll
Okay. You
help
can
kind
be
of be
Vanna White.
yeah, I'll be
Okay.
like the Van White for you.
Perfect.
Okay.
So we love Thirsties on Ryan, and like I was saying, he's not fully potty trained yet. So he can go stretches in the day if we're really good about getting him on the toilet at a certain schedule. He'll go on the potty, but he doesn't communicate with us yet to let us know when he needs to go. So we have to be taking him constantly. So the Thirsties trainers are great for that in between, like what he's wearing during the day when we're trying to get him on the potty consistently, just in case he has an accident. But
Right.
I will say when he is on his school bus or in the car, we have to do a full cloth diaper still because he is just unreliable about staying
Yeah.
dry in those situations. So the Thirsties Duo Wraps, we actually, I know they've made a size 3 and we've tested it out and it's amazing. It's still
Yeah.
big for my guy. So he's still using the Duo Wrap size 2, but he was a
So
preemie. So
here's the size 2, and these are fully unsnapped, and here's a size 3,
right.
just to give you guys a comparison.
Yeah.
And
So
2 is 18 to 40 pounds approximately, but the 3 is 40 to 60 plus. So
right.
it's very roomy.
It's very roomy. So when we tested the 3, my son is 39 pounds. So at 6 years old, that's really tiny still. So he's right at the top end of the Duo Wraps as what's recommended for the weight max. But honestly, I think he's still going to get a couple more pounds of use out of those, out of the size
He's kind of
2s.
long and lean body type.
Long and lean, exactly.
Yep.
So he's fed a G2 blended diet. We blend his food every day, so he eats healthier than any of us. And we've met with nutritionists. Like even though he's not big yet, he's like Superman. Like he's stronger than most 6-year-olds. I think he can like he's a force to be reckoned with. But the nice thing is he does still fit in a lot of the regular one size diapers. And I know for a lot of special needs kids, it's so different for each kid and their whatever they're dealing with and their size. So it's nice for us that we can still use the one size and the size 2 Duo Wraps, but it's great that we do have that option to grow into with the size 3 once he
Does he
is
still
big
fit
enough.
in a natural all-in-one?
He
Or is
does fit in the natural. You know what? Is the natural slightly bigger than the regular one size? I mean, the regular all-in-one?
You know, it's supposed to be the same, but I think it might be just a little bit,
I
just
think it is
because
too.
it might be. I actually
Yeah.
don't have the regular all-in-one here,
We
but
have
this is
one downstairs in his drawer. He's worn an all-in-one since he was like the regular all-in-one, the original one, since he was probably like 3. And that one is still in his rotation, but it is a little snug on him now. But the natural
yeah.
all-in-ones are still fitting pretty well. So.
And then this is just for comparison of size. This is the natural pocket, which is a little, it's a little bigger than the one size. So out of all of Thirsty's one size diapers, probably the pockets are the biggest.
Yeah.
So,
and that's
yeah.
So
awesome.
It's nice to have, I mean, because people, I think when they're using cloth diapers, get used to a certain style and they kind of think they're just going to stick with it. But really, as your child's growing, you might want to branch out and try a different product from the lineup, because you never know if it's going to fit slightly differently and get you through until you need to start using the size 3, if that be the case, you know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to read all the questions.
Yeah, someone was asking about, and I can kind of flip through. Someone asked about what's your sleep setup. Just what's your, how about you talk about maybe your daytime setup, just your regular, like he's on the bus, or you're in the car somewhere, and then maybe talk about nighttime.
Okay, so during the day, like I was saying, we kind of can just use, when he's not at home and we can try him on the potty, that's when we use a trainer. But when he's in the car or when we need a full diaper, we can still use his regular stash. So whatever's been working for us since he was a baby is still fitting and working for him. So we can use, like we were saying, the all-in-one, the pockets, or the duo wrap size 2. With nighttime, it's kind of nice because the duo wrap size 3 is actually something that, even though it's a little big on him, we can use it to stuff more absorbency in so that he can wear it the whole night. So it's nice to have a little extra roominess there because you can really pad it full of absorbency. So PreFolds are great. PreFolds wrapped around the cotton inserts or the hemp doublers, those types of things. You can just put whatever's gonna, you know, look at how big that nice PreFold is. I know, they're pretty awesome. And we just do a tri-fold. We never like fasten it like you used to do, or, you know, we don't need the snappies or anything. We just do the tri-fold like that and lay it inside and then put the cover on over it, and that works for overnight. So
just one PreFold is enough
for us now. We can do, he wakes up most nights now dry, so the one PreFold is enough for us. I know we went through a stage though where we were having to do a full-on fitted with a PreFold underneath it and then a wool or a, you know, cover over. There was a heavy wetting stage.
Point. I love that point. And if people have watched my cloth diapering with a heavy wetter at night, I give that tip. The absorbent, when you're using a fitted, the absorbency doesn't have to all go in the fitted. If you're pairing it with a waterproof cover, you can absolutely use a PreFold and put the fitted over that. Yeah.
We went through that stage for sure.
Yeah. But now he probably goes to the bathroom before going to bed. Yeah.
So we make sure he goes right before bed, and then we put the diaper on as a backup, and that he usually wakes up dry, but not always. So it's nice that we have that. Okay.
Good. What about for the diaper change, and kind of how has that, and maybe because given that he was on oxygen and the G tube, so some complicated tubing happening and all of that. So how has kind of the diaper change looked for you, maybe even from baby to now? And like, are there any tips that you have for those different stages?
It's definitely changed now that he's mobile and he's, you know, got his opinions. He's a bigger kid. He's an older kid. He's not big size wise for, you know, his age, but he's like wrestling an alligator, you know, to get him to stay still, and he is strong. Exactly. So basically what we found, the best way for us is at night we do lay him on the bed and use the bed basically as a larger changing table to put his diaper on. But for daytime and on the go, things like that, it's actually easiest for us to do it while he's standing up. So we kind of try to catch him while he's distracted. If he's, you know, watching a video while we're getting everyone ready. He loves Blippi. He's like obsessed. I don't know if you guys have heard of this guy. I didn't know he existed until recently. And I'm like, okay, Ryan loves this little guy on TV. So that's great. And so he'll stand and watch this video and then we'll go grab the diaper. So in that situation, hook and loop is nice because we can just have the, you know, the whatever absorbency we're putting in set up in the cover and just kind of sneak up behind him and be like, here it is going on, and then just Velcro,
and then tighten it.
halfway fit shut and pull up his shorts, and that works really well for us. So
that's a great.
Somebody had asked his stats. They wanted to know his like size. So he's 6 years old. He's 39 pounds. So he's kind of a tall, skinny, but small for his age kind of guy, but he's strong and likes to wrestle. So that's his stats.
So you were saying, so you kind of like have it like big like this and then just kind of pull.
Well, yeah, my husband actually does do it like that, where it's like a trainer and then you can tighten it. But we like to do it where I just leave it open and I just kind of stick it under and hold it up, and then I just do one side and wrap it around and the other side and wrap it around. And it's nice and easy to stick. I can do it with snaps too. My husband prefers, you know, Velcro, easy to put on while standing. But but I can do it even with the snaps standing up. I like snaps better. So we have that like constant debate.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have options.
Mr. SprayPal. So, good.
And it actually becomes an issue too with changing when you're out and about. So changing tables, that's kind of an issue when you're going to a restaurant or whatnot as your child's getting older. So we can put him on the potty at a public restroom or whatever. And then what you can do is, like you just showed how the Velcro was a little bit loose on the diaper.
Right.
You can actually just, while he's sitting on the potty, just kind of have that go up over the clean diaper, just go up over his legs like a pair of underwear, a pair of shorts. And then when he stands up off the toilet, just pull it up. Because, I mean, there are changing tables there, but a lot of times they won't hold the weight of special needs, you know, a child with special needs that's bigger and needs the diaper still. So.
Right. So then you would have something like this pre-stuffed, right?
That's
if you
what
were doing the system, you'd have it pre-stuffed and then do that. Or you can still do like a one piece, like a pocket or an all-in-one.
We can, right. But with bigger children, you might need just the size 3 pre-stuffed already. And you can even just fold it up in your whatever bag, backpack you're carrying it around in. And then, just plop it up while they're standing.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. These are great tips. What about, can you speak a little bit to this is getting kind of cloth diaper, but also just like real life. Can you speak a little bit to just being a parent of a child with special needs and just all the things that you balance, and like balancing cloth diapering and like self-care and giving yourself some grace, you know, just kind of that whole.
Right, for sure. So with Ryan, that's a hard issue, because you obviously, this is your child and you're the mom and you want to be 100% involved and whatnot. And my husband and I have a home nurse that comes, and I battle with this all the time, because like Ryan qualifies for nursing 24/7, like all through the weekend and everything else. And I'm like, well, you know, the weekends are family time. I don't want to have a nurse here. I'd rather just all of us do stuff together. But it can be very stressful because he has to be watched. He's a runner. There's things that you may not see on the outside when you're looking at pictures of Ryan that are definite challenges when you're trying to have an outing as a family or whatnot. And it can be unfair to his sibling and to us to be so stressed to constantly have to maintain some normalcy, you know. Right. So we do go back and forth about if your child qualifies for nursing, don't let that be like a guilt thing, you know. If you are able to take advantage of help, take the help, because It's going to be
Yeah.
better for your child. It's going to be better for you. You can still interact and engage with your child, and it doesn't mean you're any less of a mom or whatever. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's me talking to myself. Like, I feel like I should be able to handle this or do this myself, but
Oh,
honestly,
it's
it
so
is a
hard.
lot. It
It's
is.
so
It's
hard.
hard.
That's
So,
good advice, I think, for all moms is if you have help, take
mhm.
it. And it's okay to
Yeah,
take it.
absolutely. Absolutely. No matter if your kid needs the extra help or not. Like, I mean, I should have said the same thing when it was just Danny before he was born. Like, I never expected this, and you would never anticipate it. So you just kind of learn as you go. But yeah,
Yeah.
just if you need to hear it from somebody else, just understand there's no judgment. If you need to take help, you should
Mhm.
absolutely accept help if it's offered to
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
So,
And it's a team too. I imagine, you've got lots of people that are caring and putting their heads together, figuring out what's the best
right,
for
for sure.
your
He has,
little one.
he has his whole IEP team at school. He's got an amazing teacher who he's repeating kindergarten this year. So
Okay.
we felt like that would give him a good advantage to moving on to first grade, because he's still working on the basics. He doesn't communicate yet, so he doesn't know his letters and sounds, but he knows some of them. So he's got his teacher,
Yeah.
he's got his speech therapist, his OT. There's a huge team, and then all of his specialist doctors. There's a lot of people who are there to help and support, and you just work together with everybody to make sure they're getting the best advantage, and that you are getting the help. I mean, that I'm getting the help I need, because I can't do it myself. So for sure.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, someone's saying, great job, Jen. Great info.
Oh, thank you.
That's
And
awesome.
we had some parents contribute to a blog post series that we were working on, specifically talking about cloth diapering kids with special needs, because
Mm.
it is, I mean, this is what's worked for me and my family and my son, but he is so different than any other child who is dealing with,
Yeah.
they call it at this age, they call it incontinence, because they're past the typical age of when a child should be
Okay.
learning to use the potty. So if you have a child that's older and dealing with this incontinence, there's different resources that you can look on our website that talk about, like if they have a colostomy bag, or if they have various, things that could get in the way with the
Right.
diapers. There's
Right.
ways to use them in a way that won't affect whatever equipment they have and whatnot, like we had to do when he had his oxygen and his G tube and everything else. So we're really lucky that the things he has going on now still at this age don't impact the actual wearing of the cloth diapers. It's not like
Mhm.
physically in that zone. So it's
Yeah.
it's made it a little bit easier for us.
And that's at spraypal.com.
Yeah, the SprayPal blog. Yep. If you just click
Okay.
on blog,
Okay.
you
And
see it.
I'll be sure to put those links in the comments.
Okay.
And when I'm reposting this on YouTube, I'll be sure that they're in the episode notes. Is that what they call it on
Okay.
YouTube?
Yeah, I think so.
So actually got a good question here from Marie. She's saying some people rule out cloth because it's more work. My guess is that there is a lot to do with a special need kid. What are the biggest benefits of cloth diapering? I think she's asking like specifically for that content and this age.
Right. Well, for us at this age, we've definitely saved a ton of money, because imagine
Yeah.
if we've been buying diapers for 6 years, that would add up, and it would just be a constant monthly
Mhm.
expense. So, and I think just because we've been using cloth diapers all this time, it wasn't like it was any extra work for us. It's just like when we decided to make the switch to cloth with our daughter, who didn't have any special needs. It was kind of, I was hesitant and my husband was hesitant. We just started by trying two cloth diapers rotated in her day, to see if we could handle the extra laundry or the extra whatever. And then it just became a new routine for us. And so
Okay.
once we established that routine of just, here's an extra load of laundry every 2 days or so,
Right.
it wasn't any more time commitment other than the extra
Mhm.
laundry, which we already
Yeah.
do a ton of laundry anyway. So it didn't feel
Well,
like more.
and when
So
you were dealing with blowouts, you were probably even doing more laundry.
honestly, that was exactly what sold us on switching. We're like, we're washing poop anyway. Like, it's all over my clothes. I'd rather it be in a diaper. So that was an easy switch.
And one thing that we always say on Thirsties Live is that it doesn't have to, cloth diapering certainly doesn't have to look one specific way. It's going to be different for every family, and it also doesn't have to be all or nothing. So
Right.
Cloth, you have to make your cloth work for you and your family and your community. So
exactly. Yeah, there was a time when we were still trying to figure out the super heavy wedding at night phase. And we ended up, for part of that, using a disposable under a cover or like a duo wrap, just to make sure if the disposable leaked, there was some containment there. But that was what we had to get through until we were like, okay, let's try fitteds with a PreFold and this, that, you know, like it took a lot of trial and error, and it does take trial and error. And you don't want to put so much pressure on yourself to say like, oh gosh, I have to do cloth and it has to be full time. And that's just going to stress you out. Like, if you have a way of using cloth that works well with your family, it's definitely a great way to save money. So there's no reason not to do it, but don't let the all or nothing mentality be like a hindrance for you. Just trying 1 or 2 diaper changes a day to see if you even like it, you know? Because once you try 1 or 2, you might see like, oh, this is actually easier than I thought. Maybe I'll just switch to more, you know, or get a couple more in my stash, and then you kind of grow from there.
It's so cute, and you can't let
I know. And another thing is too, with some kids who deal with incontinence, but are, you know, Ryan has a lot of developmental delays, so he doesn't really understand, or he's not embarrassed about the fact that he's wearing diapers. But for me, I kind of think it's nice that he's in these cute prints that kind of just look like a bathing suit cover, you know, like they don't necessarily look like a diaper. And so when he gets to kindergarten, exactly. So and kindergarten kids, they're blunt, so they'll be like, oh, why is so and so still wearing a diaper? But when they see a cute little patterned thing under his shorts, they don't necessarily realize it's a diaper and don't really think to say anything about it. So I don't mind sending him on the bus and that. I mean, the teachers and aides all know, but Ryan doesn't care, but the kids aren't gonna like think anything weird about it because it doesn't look like a diaper to them. So
and that's so neat too, that like the school is cool with him having cloth. That's
They've been amazing. Ever since, I mean, we've been so lucky because I know a lot of parents find that daycare providers or whatnot are kind of hesitant or don't want to allow cloth at their facility. But I mean, from the very beginning, Chalk Children's Hospital in Orange County, we just showed them a cloth diaper, and I said, you'll just put them in this wet bag. I will take them home every day and wash them and bring them back. And as soon as you show them that it's not going to be complicated and it's not going to be awful, they're kind of more willing to give it a chance. And so we were the very first to use cloth diapers in the NICU at Chalk. And I still am in touch with a lot of the nurses we had there, and they love cloth diapers now. They talk about all the time how cute it was and how easy it was when Ryan was in his little cloth diapers. And then same with when we started, you know, when he started at age 3 going to school, we just showed them and they were all willing to give it a shot and didn't think anything of it. And a lot of times, especially in the special education community, that they're already making so many accommodations because they realize that these kids all have their individualized special needs. And so if I just say, oh, he wears cloth diapers, they're kind of like, oh, okay, that's just part of the plan, you know? And they just roll with it, and they're so great about it. So
that's awesome.
We've been lucky.
So
Amy just had a question.
Amy was asking a question about that. How do the teachers handle any diaper changes that may need to be done during the school day?
That's a good question. So the first couple years before he started kindergarten, because now he's in a mainstream classroom, so it's a little bit different. But for the first age 3 to 5, he was in a specialized classroom. So they had regular education peers in with the special ed kids, and they did have like a special bathroom with a special changing bed, like a bench, more than just a changing table, so they could do it there just like normal. But now that he's in kindergarten, our nurse goes to school with him. So she is she's already mastered the technique like we've shown her at home of while he's
Right,
standing up
right,
or just getting off
right.
the toilet to just kind of put it on as he's standing. So it's kind of something that if you have your technique at home that you use that you know works, you just want to show the aides or whatnot, see what facilities they have at the school site, and just see what you can work out to make it functional for them.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think that like demonstrating and showing is so key in
Yeah,
any situation where another caregiver is gonna, whether it's daycare or like school. And
absolutely.
and it seems to be like when people actually see it, it's not that scary. Like
Right. It's
it's just a
intimidating in
matter of
concept if they haven't seen it, and especially a lot of them are probably not realizing modern cloth is the way it is. They're thinking of
right,
safety pins and rubber pants and things like that.
right.
So yeah, the visual support with props is usually
Yeah.
very helpful.
Yeah, that's part of why we do Thirsties Live every Friday is like
Now
helping
you can
people.
share this video with them.
Yeah, you can. You can. That's great. Well, we are almost out of time. Are there any like closing thoughts or any other little tips? And also let's be sure that you just repeat where people can find those extra resources that you
Okay.
mentioned, and then we can wrap it up.
Right. Right. So I think we covered everything I'd give as far as tips, but if you do have specific questions or you want to hear or read about other parents who have done this with their children, you can go to the SprayPal blog. So our website is spray-pal.com, and then just click on the blog tab. And I guess just mentioning again that Thirsties has such a great lineup of products that is really amazing for kids of all stages, all sizes, all ages, all ability levels. Like, they have something that's going to fit or work for everyone. So there's a lot of trial and error, but don't let
Mhm.
that stop you from, using cloth diapers if it's something you want to do. And it does really work, and it does save a lot of money. So it's a great option, even if your kids have certain things they're dealing with. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, we really appreciate you joining us and helping us talk about this topic. And yeah, I'll be sure to put those links there. And Jen is all over social media. You can follow them on Instagram, SprayPal. You have a couple of different accounts for international,
Yeah, right.
stateside, and
Right. And we just
you've
started a
got a Facebook
podcast. So
page.
we have Cloth
Yes.
Diapers Made Easy. That's our Instagram handle there. So, and this
Okay.
would be a great topic, actually. I might have to bring this episode into our podcast maybe because it's
Oh,
such a good topic.
do it. You should.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. That would be great. So
Awesome.
thank you guys for all your wonderful questions and for being so
Hmm.
amazing.
Yes,
We
and
love you.
share this video if you are watching, share it. This is important information to get out there. So, well, thank you so much, Jen, for
Thank
joining us.
you.
Next week, actually, Dave is going to be doing Thirsties Live. So you guys
Yay.
get to hang out with him next week.
I will
And
tune in.
yeah. All right, everyone, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thanks, Jen, and everyone have a
Bye.
wonderful weekend. Bye.
Bye.